All right, senior home business family. Hope you guys are doing well today. Brittany's in the house. I'm here. We're talking about senior placement, and today is Thursday. We typically do this on Wednesday, and man, I ran into some issues with some appointments yesterday. I really need to take care of, so I appreciate Brittany's flexibility. And Brittany's got back from a hospital today and doing all kinds of things. So if you want to know more about this business, you can click all the links down below. We'd love to talk to you about it and share what this really means to us. So, but today, the reason you came on this video is we're going to talk about something that might cause people to be a little uncomfortable, because we're going to talk about the senior placement industry has a problem. And every industry goes through phases, I think, Brittany. I mean, where, things are just rolling along and then there's some speed bumps, and it could be just in your own personal business. It could just be the industry at large. But the senior placement industry has a problem. We're going to focus on three of those problems today. We might get into the fourth one. I don't know, but at least three. And I think the biggest one in the problem of this industry is that families don't know who to trust anymore. They really don't know. I mean, it's kind of like, do I trust my social worker, and my social worker is giving leads under the table to someone else? Do I trust the senior placement agent that may be only given 2 or 3 tours and only directing seniors to communities they have referral agreements with? Who do I trust? And I just don't know. I mean, again, we talked about it before, Brittany, on this channel, how there's a few bad apples in any industry, right? And so those two examples don't always occur. Most social workers are fantastic individuals, are great individuals, discharge planners alike. Most senior placement agents, I would think, are fantastic people, but you're going to have those people that infiltrate a certain industry, just like this one, and it's only from a selfish standpoint. So, but how do families, Brittany, trust people? I mean, who do you, especially like, okay, let's say me, let's put me on blast. I'm the person contacting the family and they don't know me from Adam. How do they know that I've got their best interest in mind? How do they know I'm going to suggest the right communities to their mom or to their dad?
I think it comes to education, like knowing the industry, knowing terminology. For example, like when we're talking to families, are we able to keep up with like where their loved ones are at? If they were in a rehab, do we understand what the rehab process is? If they're in a hospital, do we understand like things like, oh, they have a catheter, oh, they have this, or like just understanding like insurance discharge dates and what ADLs are. As soon as I feel when I'm able to describe that to them, they're like, okay, she knows what she's talking about, or okay, I can trust her, because the education pieces, I'm not just like, oh, okay, well, your mom's getting discharged, let me go look at some assisted livings. I know where to direct them immediately, and I'm educated. So not saying just me, just any placement agent, they get that like, okay, I can really trust them because I feel as though they're going to guide me in the right direction because they know what they're talking about. So I think education is a big piece of it.
Yeah, so being competent, right? And so that's kind of like, it's kind of a lesser degree of this whole thing. But it's kind of like going to maybe a dealership looking for a car, right? You just got a new car recently, right? Okay, I saw it on Facebook. So maybe you did your own research and knew exactly what kind of car you wanted and went and purchased the car. But a lot of people that go onto the, to the dealership, they go on the lot, they look for cars, and they may not know exactly what they want. And they're trusting the salesperson that's helping them to best describe what they would like, or what is that car all about, and more than just horsepower, more than just color and things like that, maybe gas mileage, or be a little more competent. And the average salesperson maybe on a dealership, or especially if you're brand new, and it's not putting anybody on blast because we've all been brand new at something, and you just don't know a whole lot, right? You just kind of like, okay, I'll get that price for you. Does that fit in your budget? Did you like that color? And that kind of goes along with senior living, right? It's kind of like, does that fit in your budget? Do you like where that's located? Do you like the amenities of that particular community? Did you like the windows when you first walked in, the fountain, the barbecue out back, and all that kind of things? But you were mentioning, as far as just having competence, right? Being educated, knowing about this process. And I think you're absolutely hitting the nail on the head, Brittany. Is like, that is the key element for families out there. If you're looking for senior living and you're getting someone to assist you, make sure they know what they're doing. Now, what about the example of the social worker? Because again, I got a couple social workers in my area. Most of them are great. So if you listen to the channel and you're on here, love you to pieces. You're fantastic. Keep giving us leads. We really appreciate it. But I really appreciate you. But there are a couple that just get leads on the table. And how do families even know? I mean, how do they know that they're being directed to 3 different communities because those are the 3 communities the social worker is getting paid by. How would they know that? Because the social worker, to your point, has the education, I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, at least one of the 2 that I know that I talked to or have talked to in the past, they're getting leads on her table. She's very well knowledgeable about the industry. Matter of fact, one of them is part owner of 3 different communities, 3 different care homes, and that's the one she directs to. So she gets payment from that. So that particular care home, that particular social worker is getting paid not necessarily under the table, but she's directing it to the community by what she gets paid from. And she's telling people, I'm sure, because I've heard it from a couple people, not many, but that these are the best 3 care homes that are out there. If you're looking for a care home, but these are the best. And I get maybe why she's saying that, because she's part owner of those care homes and she has an invested interest, and we're going to think that what we have is the best. But what we think is the best doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be the best for the resident. And so how would a family know, talking to a social worker like that, who knows the industry, or at least knows about senior living, knows her job, I would think, very well. She's been there for years. I can't imagine her not thinking that she doesn't know what she's doing, because she would have been let go a long time ago. So she's been there. So she has the education, but how would a family know that?
I honestly don't know. I don't know how they would know. Maybe if they were pressuring, like maybe the social worker was really like, these are the best, you have to go check them out. Maybe the pressure part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if like they said, well, what about this one? And she's like, no, this one. Like, what if they just kept redirecting them? That would probably be the only way that I could see it.
Yeah, I think.
Like if I were to say, like, what about this community? And then she's like, no, backtracking to the 3 that she recommended. Maybe that would be the only way they would know.
Yeah, I think, and for families out there, here's the key. What Brittany's saying too, is that give a little bit of pushback. Give a little bit of pushback to social workers. Give a little bit of pushback to us as senior placement agents. Anyone that's involved in the process, do your due diligence. And so when someone hands you a list or suggests 3 communities and that's it, begin to be a little bit, step back and get that 30,000 foot view kind of aerial, put it in perspective, like, the big picture. Okay. So these are 3. Now think through in your head, how many communities are in your area? You got a lot of communities in your area. So what makes these 3 the best? And maybe you're given those 3, don't think anything of it. I would encourage the families to go out and tour each of those 3 and have questions. And we're going to have, I'm going to start doing on a weekly basis in the next week or 2, Brittany, as far as having a free educational webinar for families that want to come, and I'll teach them all about senior living, all what they expect through the process, and do all that kind of thing. And we're going to give them a 30-question PDF that I've already created of questions that I have come up with through the years that families should be asking on a regular basis when they're involved in senior living. And so we're going to do that kind of thing. And so I think it's important for families to be educated, to know what questions to ask. I don't know if ChatGPT and other AI things can give you that information. Maybe. I think going out and just doing your own due diligence. I would start with this. What does mom's need? What are mom's needs, right? You're going to find that out at the hospital or skilled nursing, wherever you are. What's her physical needs? What are the care levels? And then think through what mom enjoys and what she likes, and start kind of jotting down your own questions. And then every time somebody just gives you 3, just think in terms of, I'm going to question all of this. Because I just talked to somebody the other day, and they moved his mom 3 times in the last 3 years. That's horrific. As seniors don't need to be transported and moved all the time. I don't like to move. I'm not a senior yet, Brittany. I can actually get a discount at this place downtown Clovis. Then they got a little senior citizen discount. It says 55 and older. I look at that going, I look at my wife. That's not me. Push that to the side. But I'm getting there. But you need to be able to understand that. So families just don't know who to trust. And I think, it's incumbent upon the families to be able to establish, the individuals or companies or communities that they can trust. And sometimes we kind of lean on that vibe, right? That feeling that you get. And to what you said earlier about maybe if a social worker or somebody is being pushy, then you should have some resistance to that. Why are they pushing me to do this? I don't know. What do you think about that?
No, I agree. I think also as placement agents, we need to be prepared for those questions too, because I get a lot of like pushback. Not they'll just say like, well, what about this one? What about this one? And a lot of times we do give the right 3 recommendations, and that's all that is available, or that makes the most sense, that fits within budget, that can fit the care needs. But like, you have to be prepared as an agent to be ready for those questions and not be frustrated and understand where the families are coming from. That's
Absolutely.
huge. Like, I mean, honestly, I would say majority of my families do ask me, what about this one? What about that one? Why doesn't this one work?
Yeah. And thanks, Tiffany out there. She said true. Absolutely. Great. Glad that you're listening. Let's go into the next one, Brittney, that I want to talk about, because senior placement has got a problem. I mean, there's a lack of trust with families. I think more and more people have gotten in this industry as senior placement agents. There's many of you guys, hopefully all of our students are. I can't vouch for that, but I would think all of our students are fantastic. But then again, they're not sometimes. I mean, people in general. But I think practically speaking about this industry, if you're already in this industry, I think too many senior placement agents, there's a problem of them waiting for leads instead of prospecting. They're waiting for their phone to ring. They're waiting for their email or their, God forbid, a fax. I guess I still use the e-fax because of skilled nursing facilities out there. I always like to fax the face sheets and things. But, I think a lot of people are just waiting. Now, you weren't waiting, right? So like today you went to the hospital. And why did you do an in-person kind of visit? Because that is what we need to do in business, is to connect with people in a very strategic way. But what do you think about the agents that are just simply waiting? Maybe they do one post. Maybe they do a post, and that's kind of a big thing, right, in social media. And so I do one post, and everybody's going to see it. Everybody's going to like it and comment and call me and schedule a time to meet with me. And it doesn't happen.
I think we just talked about this week, actually. They're waiting for the phones to ring. They're posting on social media. They're editing their website. I've heard that a lot. I'm editing my website. I'm changing things up. I'm on Google. I'm high on Google. High on Google, meaning like I'm ranking high. Why aren't I getting calls?
Oh, that's what that means?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, sorry. No. So then it's like, so I mean, they're really just sitting and waiting where it doesn't happen. I mean, a website, social media does help. All of that stuff helps. And it's a part of what you have to do. But no one's going to find you just by post. Not no one. Let me rephrase that. You're not going to get your phone ringing off the hook if you're posting on Facebook. Does it help everything? Could you get a lead? Oh, for sure. I got one of my first leads from Facebook, but you're not going to expand your business by updating your website and posting on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
You have to get out there. These people, one problem too, that I'm not sure if we'll talk about it today, is like families don't even know we exist. That's a really big problem in this industry. As many of we're out there, big companies like the national companies are out there too. They still don't know we exist. So they're not going to know that you opened up a placement agent in Texas unless you go get them. Like, they're not just going to find you walking down the street one day or on Facebook one day. For the most part, they won't.
Hey, let me ask you something about posting on Facebook or any other social media channel. And a lot of us, have family and friends are part of our like Facebook group, right? All the people that follow you and whatever. Now LinkedIn is very different for me, but let's just use Facebook. Have you ever got any of your family members or close friends that use your service to move somebody?
Sorry, there's a bug. Actually, funny you say that. I just moved my great uncle last week.
Awesome.
But hold on. Sorry, great aunt, if you're hearing this, she had already called 5 places before she called me.
She called 5? Why would she call 5 places?
And she knows what I do for sure, because her mom, so my whatever that would be, was in a community, and I visited her all the time, and she knew I worked with them because she would always say, "Hey, mom, got a new neighbor. Is it your client?" All the time. So she knew what I did. Called 5 places. Other than that, and that was luck that I got that placement because she'd already been calling. Other than that, I've placed basically family friend 1, and she called a place for mom.
Wow. Because see, I've never.
Other than that, no.
Yeah. I've never had family reach out to me about even giving me a lead of somebody that would need assistance, right? And the reason I thought about this, because I have a friend of mine I've known probably for about 8 years or so. He's in insurance. My wife and I love him and his wife. They got married about 4 or 5 years ago. And he reached out to me a couple weeks ago and went, hey, my mom is going to need assistance with placement. Can I give her your number? I said, absolutely. So I let a day go by after that, and I reached out to him, and he didn't reach back out to me. Then 3 days later or so, he reached back out to me. Hey, man, sorry, dude, I got busy. I'm going to give your number to my mom, and we'll get you guys connected. Okay, cool. Let it go. Then I reached back out to him a couple of days ago. He's like, oh, yeah, man, my mom already found somewhere. And I thought, why would you even go through that whole process? Like, if you are, and if you're hearing it out there, my friend, don't be offended, but it's, you love your mom. And obviously you reached out to me because of our brand, because who I am maybe, or you like me, or we do a good job, whatever the reason you reached out to us, right? Why wouldn't you make that happen in a very important, as important decision as this is? This is a huge life-changing decision for your mom, and you just kind of let it go. Now, hopefully she got into a great place. I don't know. I don't know where she went. I'm just hoping and praying she ended up in a great location, but I have no idea. I don't know who helped her. Maybe it was one of those social workers that's got the 3 best opportunities over here, and your mom is over there, and then his mom could end up like the guy I talked to the other day, and his mom has moved every year for the last 3 years, which is really terrible. I mean, beyond the financial constraints, right? Beyond the financial, like community fees and moving, paying somebody to move your furniture and all that stuff to get over to somewhere. It's the fact that your mom is going to have to physically move, which is not great for seniors at all. And number 2 is now they're going to have to adapt to a completely different environment. You got to think about it this way, families that are out there, that your loved one is getting moved into a community, and they're going to hopefully enjoy the community and the people that are taking care of them. However, let's say it was me. Let's say 30 years from now, it's me. I don't want a caregiver whom I don't know, and therefore I can't trust yet because I don't know them to take care of me. I got to know like some history about this community. I want to see some reviews, and more than just online, even more than just maybe state reviews, and they haven't got caught yet, right? That's another thing. State reviews, there's times communities don't have that many citations, maybe because people haven't spoken up yet. I tell you what, like standalone memory care, Brittney, there's a lot. I don't know if you got this in your area or not, but I got a couple of them in my area. Man, they got 1,000 complaints, but they got hardly any citations for one good reason. Nobody can remember what happened the day before. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to prove. So things just keep going on and on. So, man, I don't know. I just think with senior placement agents in general, it's broken in this industry because I think maybe it's partly my fault. Maybe I've emphasized this industry just being more of a customer service position than a sales position, which it really is. But I think maybe I've instilled that in some people, or our channel has and our community has, where they feel like it's just so customer service and you forget the sales part. But it's kind of like a company, right? When you got a company, and I don't care if it's a small company, big company, everybody's in sales. Everybody. You might be the bookkeeper, but you're in sales. You might be the front desk person, but you're in sales. And they don't think of it that way. But the things that they say and how they treat people and all that, it begins to warm up people and it gives them a good feeling about your company. You are in sales. And by what you say, because take this, let's take the front desk person, for instance. I don't want to wake off this tangent, but it's kind of cool. Front desk person, she's up there, negative Nancy, always on the phone, talking, just negative, having a bad day, and people walking in and, and people are hearing this and seeing this. They're like, why would I want to buy from you guys? I have a bad feeling about this. Can you imagine like walking into a community and somebody does that, right? I gave an example before a long time ago when I walked into a community and the concierge, the girl at the front desk, had her head down and she was evidently leaning over to get some files out of out of the drawer or something. I don't know, something like that. She didn't see me. And when she popped up, she goes, "What do you want?" She didn't even know me. But what she thought, I think what she thought is I was a resident. And that's how she addresses the residents when they go up there.
Yeah.
Crazy. So with senior placement agents, they just got to go to the fear of outreach, right? I mean, if you had fear of outreach, you wouldn't be going to the hospital today talking to people.
Nope.
Right? So you've got to get over that. If people have the fear instead of focus, their business is going to fail.
Yep. Plain
and simple. And they may not call it fear, right? They might not call it fear. They might just call it, what was that?
Procrastination. I hear that.
Or like you said earlier, I'm building my website now.
Yeah. Like the last thing on the to-do list.
Yeah, right. That's the last thing is go out and get some clients. The first thing is build a website, get your laptop.
Business cards. Yeah.
Get all that stuff. And it's just, man.
Logos, clothes, like all this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, all that's somewhat important. It's brand. And I'm not trying to insinuate do things on the cheap and don't look good. I mean, we're not saying that, right, Brittney? But there are certain things you need to emphasize more than a logo and things like that. And I've had people just spend, days and weeks on logos and websites and thinking they have to have that, right? If somebody looks me up and I don't have a website, it's going to be a disaster. I had hardly any of that when I first got started. I mean, I was just making contact and beating down the streets and talking to people. So let's talk about the last one real quick, Brittney. What about senior living communities having a problem with follow-up? And what I mean by that is, as a senior placement agent, I have faced not a lot, but it does seem like it's more prevalent, and not to accuse anybody, but more prevalent with the larger communities than the smaller ones. Maybe because the smaller ones, I have more direct access to the homeowner. But have you ever experienced times when you were trying to give the communities a lead, a qualified lead, and they took hours or days to get back to you?
Yeah, actually this week we're trying to get a hold of somebody, 4 calls in, nothing, no response.
A qualified lead?
Yes.
Now,
they lost the deal at the end of the day. We moved on, but yes.
I mean, if I was the executive director, I'd be blowing a head gasket.
Literally. Yeah.
So Brittney's calling me with a qualified lead, and we don't have the time to pick up the phone and call her back.
Yep. Or they'll say, here's another thing, we can't tour that day, but then never give us when they can tour. I would blow a gasket.
Oh, they're telling you what they can't do.
What do you mean? Like, yeah.
Wow.
Blow up. Yep.
I mean, it's kind of like, people that are unsuccessful in life too, just do that. They tell you what they can't do instead of tell you what they can do. And just that, they tell you when the day they can't tour,
but there's no follow-up.
No follow-up. Like, hey, Brittney, hey, tomorrow, Friday at 2:00 doesn't work. Can we come first thing in the morning? Or you know what? We do have somebody here on Saturday if that works for you.
Yep. Get it all the time. Can't do that day and time. That's it.
Why do you think they do that? Tell me. Talk to. I
don't know. I mean, these are places we work with. This is not like a random one-off. I've never talked to them before. To be blunt, I think they're lazy.
Yeah.
To be blunt, they're not invested in their job and they're lazy. That is like, I don't know. You have a qualified lead and you're like, I can't do it that day. Sorry.
Wow.
Lazy, not invested on the way out the door. A few reasons. On the way out the door, not interested.
Wow. Do you ever get them trying?
And they're not full. Let me put that out there. They're not full.
They're not full, and they still don't have time.
Correct.
Wow. Do you ever get communities trying to pre-qualify the client? Like, not from the standpoint whether they have the money, because we're all supposed to be doing that, guys. If you're not doing that as senior placement agents, make sure you bring a qualified lead to them. So if their budget, the room is $4,000, the care is going to be $1,000 or whatever it is, make sure they can afford $5,000. Make sure they're able to take care of the ADLs and behaviors of the client, all that kind of stuff. But all that being equal, I mean, I know you wouldn't have called that community if there was not a qualified client. Like, right. They had the resources and that community had the ability to take care of that client, but they chose not to get back.
Ridiculous.
Wow. Do you ever have clients, not clients, do you ever have marketing directors calling you back a day or two later? And let's say you've already moved on and they're going somewhere else. And what is usually their comment about
Oh
that.
my gosh, I meant to get back to you. I'm so sorry. Too late.
I meant to get back to you. I'm so sorry. It's like they should be sorry.
Yep.
Like, because when I think most of these communities, the ones around here, I don't know every state, obviously, but we had a monthly move-in quota.
Yep.
So we all got a salary. And if you guys don't know, I was the outside sales kind of thing. There was 3 other marketing directors on the inside. And it didn't matter who got the move in or not. We all worked together as a team. So if I brought somebody from the outside in, we kind of threw it into the team bucket, right? Somebody on the inside got something, a place for mom or some other local placement agent, and they moved them. It threw it into the team bucket. And so if we did 7, we all got an extra $1,000 for the month. All 4 of us got $1,000. So if I heard about one of my peers, one of my people on my team didn't have the time to get back to you, oh, I'm so sorry. Dude, we're sorry. We missed our quota this month. What the heck? Oh my gosh, that's wild.
Ridiculous.
That's wild. That's wild. What does that say to you, Brittney, when they don't get back to you? Because the reason I asked this question, like, if let's say communities are a little slow in paying on a referral fee, I don't know why. That kind of says something to me. I don't mean to be harsh or anything, but like if they're slow to pay me, not like right on time, but if they kind of prolong this thing out weeks and, it's just kind of like they're, either forgetting about it or chinching on something else. I always go back to like, how are they treating the seniors? Are they forgetting about other things to take care of seniors, So what do you think about about a community when they don't get back to you right away? Let's say it's a couple of days. What's your first thoughts in your mind?
I think just like lack of urgency and getting things taken care of. I mean, if you're not doing the one thing you should be doing to get people in, that makes me nervous on what you're doing while they're there. I will say in their defense, one thing about this that I think is changing, they want good referrals. So to your point, we definitely should be, qualifying them financially, medically. And I have found that the more you do that, the more that you work with them, the faster they do respond, because they'll say, oh, Brittney's coming through. We know she's got a good lead, right? They're on it like at 5 p.m. on a Friday night. I do think they've been burned by a place for mom, the big communities and local agents that are sending junk all day long to them, that they get burnt out. They're like, here's another one. Okay, Medicaid, $2,000 income. I do think some of it is that. So I will say the more I've worked with them, the faster the response is, because they know if you're giving good leads, that they're not wasting their time. On a Friday at 5 p.m., if Place for Mom comes through, what are the odds they're going to sit there and work that? So that, I will say in their defense, I think they're burnt out. They're getting a lot of leads that are unqualified. They're talking to, 40 families a week and maybe only 4 qualify. So I do think on their end, even though it's not acceptable, that they are burning at both ends.
Yeah, I agree with you, because I know this has been a long time ago, but when I was with that community at the time, this will kind of let you know how long ago it was, because every lead that came from a Place for Mom on that email all said their budget was $4,500. And they just knew they could get into our community at that time if they were low, the acuity wasn't as high. And so they would be able to get in at 45. So everyone said 45. So when I first started working, I only worked on Saturdays, in the community, and other days I was outside doing other things. But, whenever I first started doing that on Saturday, I thought, man, it's a good one. Oh my God, it's another good one. Oh man, we're on fire. And it's like, you talk to them and they can't afford $4,500.
Yep.
But every lead came through. So they were trying to display urgency on their end, like, man, follow up with every one of these. But to your point, if you are, as a senior placement agent out there giving qualified leads, just bona fide leads to a community, and they know the information you're giving, it's going to stick most of the time, I think they will follow back up with you pretty quickly. But if you establish a reputation,
if they think they have a chance to close it, if they think our move-in ratio to referral is probably in the 80%, because we don't blast leads. So if it's coming across their desk, they know we have a shot.
Yeah.
So if they think they're going to have a shot, it's worth a tour. It's worth their fast response. If it's not, then, I think some of them, like you said, eventually it's like, okay, you get burnt out. I mean, a little bit. And I'm not saying they should, it's their job, but I do think they get burnt out talking to the same people, same problem, not enough money, too high acuity, and you get that all day, every day. Then if we're just another referral, are they going to take it seriously?
Yeah. But guys, so hopefully you guys can tell that it's we've got a problem in senior placement, right? I mean, everything from talking about families, who they can trust, to talking about the senior placement agents, whether they prospecting or just waiting around. We're talking about communities, and you guys, this all happens in every industry. But if you want to be a person that is part of the solution, and you want to know this business in its entirety and how to do it from A to Z in chronological order, man, you need a Senior Placement Institute. You need to drop down and schedule a consultation call with myself, watch the free webinar down below, all that good stuff. There's a bunch of things you can do down below of this video, and get involved with it. I mean, this is what Brittney and I do on a daily basis. This is how we've been doing it for years. And we've trained many people across the country, and you could be next. Could be your one opportunity, one chance to do something that's meaningful in life, to help somebody and get paid very well doing it. So I would encourage you to do all that. But Brittney, put a bow on it. Let's get rocking and rolling. You got anything?
I was gonna say a lot of things that I think also everything we talked about today can be fixed in the industry, and like with a good placement agent, you can combat all of those problems. And I mean, they're not going to go away, but you can definitely minimize them quite a bit.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Till next time, God bless.